In fact, we overlook the very thing we should be most afraid of, and that is the fear of who's going to be left picking up the pieces. Who's going to have to bear the brunt of the dissatisfaction of a life unfulfilled if you fail to act right now? That can only be you. Monday morning, folks. I'm feeling better than I felt in the past 2 weeks. Touch wood. On the agenda for today, first point of order, watch the World Cup final. Then work, of course. Today is quite a big day. We have conference in my office, so I might be on standby for that, which is always nervy moments, but I'll be fine. Anyways, the real plan of attack is to see whether I can go a full day without being sick and a full day feeling alright, and then hopefully, if that's the case, tomorrow I can start running again, which honestly I can't wait for. I'll take you along as always, so let's get stuck in. Now I know this looks like me trying to act like I'm working, but it's actually not. This is me patiently waiting for my computer to update before I can start working. And this is me giving you a little salute on my way home. That's a wrap on Monday, folks. It was a good day, to be honest. Not too busy, not too stale. You know, there's a good balance. There's a good balance of busyness versus not overly busy. And I feel like today struck that balance. Now, of course, during idle time, my mind wanders. And I don't know if that's always a good thing, but today I wondered about the fear of failure and how to overcome the fear of failure. Before I say a word, I want to give a quick disclaimer. I want to introduce myself. The person talking to you today is not a guru, definitely not. It's far from the finished article, but the person talking back to you today is definitely an advanced version of the person I was a few years ago. Now, a few years ago, I was chronically afraid to do anything really. In fact, this that I'm doing now is something that I've put off for close to 6 years. I've been wanting to talk and to share, I don't know, my thoughts and my ideas for the longest time. But I've always been so afraid to do it. I'm 6 months into doing the thing that I was the most afraid of doing previously, and that is putting myself out there, creating content and so forth. And as I reflected back, there's 2 things that's changed in my life, just 2. The first thing is an increase in confidence. Confidence, I've realized, is 99% of everything. And I'm sure in other videos, I'll talk at length into confidence, but that's not the reason for today's video. The reason for today's video is the second step I took. I reframed being afraid. When you're afraid of failure, you are typically afraid of judgment, scrutiny, or the fear of making a fool of yourself. You are most likely afraid of some variant of either one of those 3 elements. And so was I. The reframing that I did was I realized that being afraid of failure is one thing to be afraid of, but we overlook another thing to be afraid of. In fact, we overlook the very thing we should be most afraid of, and that is the fear of inaction. See, the fear of failure is the fear of judgment here in this moment. The fear of inaction we overlook because that is the fear that you should be having for a dissatisfied you in a few years. We like to think of immediate scrutiny, what people will think of us in the here and now. And that's valid. I'm not downplaying that at all. But we are downplaying the second element, and that is who's going to be left picking up the pieces? Who's going to have to bear the brunt of the dissatisfaction of a life unfulfilled if you fail to act right now? And that is you. That can only be you. I do get it. You have loving friends and family and supportive people. Hopefully you do. They will always be there, right? But when push comes to shove, when you go to bed at night, you are the only one responsible for that future version of yourself. That reframing put the fear in the moment into context for me. You see, no longer was I only focused on the fear of failure right here now, the fear of scrutiny right here and right now. Now I had to balance two sets of fears. I had to balance my immediate fear of judgment and my immediate fear of failure. I had to balance that though with a future fear of dissatisfaction, a future fear of a life unfulfilled. And let me tell you, in my personal opinion, the second type of fear will always override or overrule the first type. So, if I were to advise myself a few years ago, that's exactly what I would say. I would say, who are you serving? Are you serving the current versions of the people around you? Or are you serving the future version of yourself? That makes it personal, and that will give you momentary courage to survive judgment, scrutiny, and the fear of failure right here and right now. I hope you enjoyed it, and I genuinely do hope that it can help someone out there. If that is you, I genuinely want to urge you to leave a comment or to reach out to me. To reach out to me on any platform, because I'm not doing this for the likes. I'm not doing this for the views. I'm doing this for future me and past me. Future me, I would hate to walk into a future dissatisfied me. And past me, because I wish I had a mentor back in the day. So, adios folks. I hope to hear from you. And if I don't, you bet I'll catch you tomorrow.